With an average rating of 9.6 out of 10, IGN and GameSpot giving it a 9 out of 10, and The Gamer just coming out and saying it's a 10 out of 10, you'd almost be surprised if I told you that that keeps going. Countless reviews praising this game for being flawless, and even getting the CEO of PlayStation to change the direction of PS exclusive games going forward. It doesn't even end there. Being placed as the 74th highest rated game ever, even beating games like God of War Ragnarok, KOTOR, Metal Gear Solid 3 and 4, and finally, the Washington Post claiming that it's the, quote, rare perfect video game. And to top it all off, though there's a lot more we'll be talking about very soon, all of this was accomplished in less than 2 weeks. Now you'd have to be asking, what game could this be? Well, why don't I formally introduce you to Astro Bot, a cute little family-friendly game that nobody expected to be as big as it is now. But why? Why is it the rare perfect video game? Why is it the 74th highest rated game in all time? Why is it changing the future of PlayStation? Well, my dear Homo sapien, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. And a lot more, trust me. This is exactly why Astro Bot has the potential to change the world. Astro Bot was made by a group called Team Asobi. Now, who are these guys? Well, the word Asobi itself means play, which says a bit about them and their focus. They were founded back in 2012 as part of Japan Studio, a division of Sony. 9 years later, after the restructuring and eventual closure of Japan Studio, they were able to use their success of their pre-installed PS5 game Astro's Playroom to finally be a free studio to this day. Under Sony, of course. Now, I've done some digging and tried to see what I could find on their website, but to little avail. I mean, at least I could read it, unlike Game Science's website in my last video. They say that they're a Tokyo-based group and are very proud of their award-winning success with Astro Bot. Now, one thing did stand out to me. Here's a quote. Tell me if you notice it too. We are a new and dynamic PlayStation studio based in vibrant Tokyo, Japan. We create top quality games for players of all ages on PlayStation. Our latest works are the critically acclaimed Astro Bot Rescue Mission for PlayStation VR and Astro's Playroom in PlayStation 5. We're currently hard at work on our most ambitious game yet. Our most ambitious game yet? What could this be? Another game in the Astro Bot world or something else entirely? As we've stated before, the word Asobi reflects on their passion for creating games that are fun. A further example of this would be another quote from their website under the hiring page. Want to join our team in Japan? We're looking to expand by bringing top talents with high skills, passion, and a playful, collaborative mind. They're looking to expand their team, and what they're looking for is people who bring fun to the table. Now, add in the fact that there are only about 65 members of Team Asobi as we speak. Not only does that make their success more impressive, but this adds to a much bigger point that I'll be explaining soon, so don't forget that. When taking a look at their current roster of games, we find a couple VR games released as far back as 2013. While the Playroom didn't do so well, it wasn't until a bit later that they struck gold. So what do we know about this mysterious Team Asobi? They're a small group under Sony who emphasize creating games centered on fun. They have a past with making VR games and are still continuing to do so to this day. They also claim that they're working on their most ambitious project yet. Now, this is all very impressive when you remember everything we talked about in the intro, you know, 74th most highest rated game in history and all that, whatever. Now, I'll be using a lot of this to make a bigger point later on, so don't just go on forgetting this stuff, alright? Now, what is Astro Bot? I've been talking about this game the whole time, but I haven't explained it. Super simply put, I think Donkey summed it up pretty well. This is a slick game. Astro Bot is... where do I begin? Amazing. From dozens upon dozens of special, well thought out, clever, and satisfying features you'll be experiencing every second, to the creative imagination in every bit of this game, and I cannot express just how well done this game is. Everything is smooth, everything is precise, everything is stunning, everything is inspiring. This game is just so well done. When his nemesis crashes his ship and spreads his crew across the universe, Astro Bot must travel through 80 levels on 6 different galaxies to find all his crew. You play as the robot, the myth, the legend, Astro Bot, in a very Mario 64-like game, yet heavily influenced by PlayStation. For example, their mothership is literally a flying PS5. Some characters and levels are inspired by other PS exclusive games too. Sounds simple, but again, I just can't say it enough. The game is just so well done. Again, Donkey, it's just a slick game. Now, what if I told you that it doesn't end there, that this little guy has gotten the attention of the CEO of PlayStation himself? On June 1st, Hermen Hulst was elected as the new CEO of PlayStation, replacing Jim Ryan. Hermen had a vision for expanding the reach and influence of PS via producing quality games. Well, we can only imagine his face after seeing the stats on Astro Bot when he woke up. Of course, he was asked about the explosive and global success of our little game, to which he said, quote, "I think it's massively important that PS Studios develops games in various genres, and the family market I think is really important for us to focus on." Here's another one. Astro Bot is very, very important to PlayStation. I can only imagine why. And finally, Astro Bot is not just a game, it's a testament to what PlayStation can achieve when we push the boundaries of innovation and creativity. It represents the future of PlayStation, where we aim to create unforgettable experiences for players of all ages. Perfectly said. Hermen plans to change the direction of PS games going forward, as Astro Bot made it clear that there's a much bigger family audience that hasn't been tapped into yet. And this has led to the 74th highest rated game in history. But it wasn't all just the gameplay. A team of passionate people putting fun and creativity first. A team who's, with the help of Sony, pushing the limits of PS technology and features in video games. And now that we've set the stage... Wow. Can you get any louder? Okay. And now that we've set the stage, we're diving into something a little deeper. No, a lot deeper. Why the 74th highest rated game in history could also change history forever. Do you miss getting good games? Do you miss playing great games? Guys, I'm trying to build a community of people who want that back. That's you, I hope. A community-driven channel where we fight to make a difference in this collapsing industry. So like, I don't know, subscribe, share, and most importantly, comment it up. I want to talk with you guys, and you've been doing so well in my last several videos. We just broke through 4,000 subscribers, and I know we can keep growing this community. I love you guys. Let's do this. As you know, the Western video game industry is suffering. With little success here and there, maybe something big shines through to save the day, but none of this comes without a ton of controversy. Whether it's several delays in the production, terrible quality when we finally get it, some kind of political tension, a simply boring story or plot, an unimaginative setting, an unattached main character, or so many microtransactions that it severely damages the quality of the game. The list goes on. The Western gaming industry has been melted down into a cesspool of low effort and attempt at high profit scandals. You can call these video games, but what happened? I've got a video talking about this subject, but I'm about to go deeper than I've ever gone before, and then you'll witness me bind together an argument so sound that you'll have seen the beauty of two galaxies merging. Bear with me. Ooh, I'm scared now. What happened to the empire that was the Western gaming industry? Halo Combat Evolved, Mass Effect, Fable, Knights of the Old Republic, Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto, all of these games and so many more are perfect examples of the power of what the West used to be able to do. Legends were founded in those days, but not anymore. Why? There was once a boy who worked all summer in the fields for just enough money to buy a book that he had been dreaming about for years. When the time was up and he got paid, he ran to the shop and bought the book and went home. He read every page of that book religiously, but because he had worked so hard for an entire summer for the book, he never wrinkled a page. The book stayed in mint condition for years. Now, after time, the boy had grown up and had a family. He would read this book to his kids every night, but they fell into hard times. Money was short and he knew his last option was to sell the book. Against his desire, he sold it. The new owner, admiring such quality in a book, walked home in great cheer, but as he was unlocking his door, he fumbled and dropped the book in his clumsiness and damaged the spine. He felt bad and brushed off the dirt, but continued into his home and put it on his coffee table as his wife finished dinner. While he wasn't paying attention, his two dogs got into the book and tore out 14 pages and ripped off the cover. He shook his dogs off the book. The sluggard, feeling bad, brushed off the dust and set it down on the mantel on his way to eat. After forgetting it for nearly a week, his wife found the torn up, dirty, damaged book while cleaning and threw it away. It was gone. All those hours that the boy, all those years had put into earning this, all the times his children laughed and cried while listening to it, gone. The sluggard never valued the book the same way that the boy did because he didn't put the time in to earn it. Do you see a parallel here? Do you see my point? The empire that was the Western gaming industry was put in the hands of people who never valued it. They never put in the time to create the Master Chief. They never put in the time to plant the seeds of New Mexico. They never put in the time to build a mass relay. Yet here they are in charge of all of it. One thing leads to another and an entire industry has dissolved into a selfish, mindless, heartless scheme designed to suck as much money out of us as possible. impossible. There is no life, there is no heart in any of this, and there hasn't been for years. The change from Overwatch to Overwatch 2 is probably the quickest and most extreme example of this. I have a video on that, just saying. But we've been standing by watching for years as our childhood, our memories, our worlds have been crashed into the ground. They don't care about the legacies they're taking on. They didn't build it, they don't value it, just like that book. Now the question is, where are we now? After years of disappointment and letting down the fans, what has the fall of the Western video game industry done? Well, it's resulted in a huge amount of people looking for a place to go. Our dreams, memories, homes, gone. Now we're left looking. But something is happening. We've recently seen a rise in the Eastern gaming industry. A perfect example of this would be my last video, which I highly recommend, Black Myth Wukong. Isn't it strange that a Chinese mobile game company would stumble across success that even AAA Western companies would only dream of these days? Selling over 10 million copies in less than 72 hours, making a profit in less than 24 hours, and setting new records for Steam on, like, its first day. I highly recommend that video. Elden Ring, done by From Software and Bandai Namco. Now that's a world-changing game. I could keep going down the list, but this all leads us back to Astro Bot, with a massive audience looking for something good and quality because we've only been, getting let down and used for the last several years, and with Asia only succeeding in making exactly what we're looking for, something huge is just around the corner. And this leads us back to my main point. This little guy has the potential to change the world. I believe that Elden Ring was a sign that not only could Asia produce fantastic games, but that they could connect in a big way with the Western audience. Yes, Elden Ring is amazing, it's amazing, but it was able to draw a bridge from continent to continent, and thus open up something huge. Black Myth Wukong is an example that even the lowest of companies or groups can build something that still beats everything we're getting in the West. And finally, Astro Bot proves that they can consistently pull it off and appeal to all ages. Do you see what I see? With a consumer population that's growing no matter what, and a shrinking population of producers in the West, people are searching. And now with a shift from the West to East, you can only guess what's happening now. The West either wakes up and realizes that they're not only losing, but hurting their fan base and changes their ways, going back to quality and passion over message and profit. Or the Western game industry continues to embarrass itself and blame its audience for not enjoying their crap value content. We'll see how it goes. Only time will tell. Simply put, the success of Astro Bot can be awarded to its smooth and flawless gameplay mechanics, details, colors, creative setting, cheerful mood, and the list just goes on. But it wouldn't be anything without the team and minds behind it. A team who not only puts making fun, creative, and valuable games first, but also enjoys the journey behind the scenes. Just watching them have fun is fun. Well, the success of Astro Bot has already influenced the direction of PS games going forward, as the CEO of PS has realized just how big the family audience is. Wow, would you look at our little robot changing the world? That's not all though when it comes to changing the world. Over the last decade or so, we've seen our favorite games, worlds, franchises, memories, and childhood get run down into the dirt, with terrible releases like Mass Effect Andromeda simply embarrassing games as a whole, new Fable games causing an uproar among the fans, Star Wars Outlaws disgracing the imagination and hope that was John Williams' original series, Suicide Squad very nearly disrespecting one of the most legendary voice actors in history, and a universe as recognizable as the sun. We're left disappointed everywhere we go. But why? Over time, roles have been swapped. New positions opening, closing, combining, new management, and before you know it, it's a completely different team. A perfect example of this is the story behind Peter Molyneux and Lionhead Studios. In 2016, the company responsible for the Fable series closed down. In 2017, Playground Games acquired the rights to Fable, the world that Peter Molyneux had built up over the years, and have put their own little spin on it. I wonder how that's been going. These people didn't plant the fields of Fable. The new management never welded together the armor of the Master Chief. They never built the mass relays. Yet here they are crashing our world into the ground. What's come of this? They've alienated their audience. We're done. Now, on the other side of the planet is a continent who's continually producing exactly what we've been looking for: quality content. Elden Ring, Black Myth Wukong, and Astro Bot perfectly paint the picture I'm describing. Myth Wukong showed us consistency, and Astro Bot showed us that they have something for everyone. This little guy might have just changed the world. Well, what do you think? I want to hear from you! I've only heard good things from Astro Bot, and I'm genuinely blown away by the game. Down to every last detail, this game just has... it's just slick, perfect gameplay. And guys, this video directly ties into my last video, so I recommend checking it out because it's a roller coaster you will not forget. Literally a legend. I think about that video like all the time. But again, what do you think? I'm trying to build a community of people who are pushing against what they've done to our games, and that's you. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. The feedback I get from you guides me on what to make another video on. So, like, subscribe, share, and comment. And guys, do you think we should start like a hashtag thing where we say, I don't know, something like they never built the mass relays, or they no mass something like that, guys? Should we start something like that? I don't know. But guys, I love you guys. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And remember, life is short. Play great games. Of course, you've heard of Game Science's newest release, Black Myth Wukong. I mean, it's just massive. But do you know what's going on behind the scenes? Do you know the mysteries of the elusive Game Science? Isn't it strange that the company who's only made mobile games just so happens to stumble across a fortune too good to be true, making a profit on its first day and 10 million copies sold by the third day, and only being available on PC and PlayStation? It almost seems as if all of this, again, is too good to be true. Well, buckle up, my dear Homo sapien, because this is an adventure you don't want to miss out on. The dark secrets and mysteries behind Black Myth Wukong. What's actually going on?